I just want everybody first to hear my reaction to Rome Murphy KOing Aaron Pico. Something bad about to happen. 142. This is the kind of excitement that us MMA fans, if you're watching this, you are an MMA fan. This is what we live for. This is what we watch the sport for. This is what we kill our sleep schedules for. It's not, we don't watch the sport for what happened Saturday night. You can be an MMA fan. You can be a hardcore MMA fan. You can be the biggest MMA fan in the world. And you do not have to like what you have been seeing lately in the main event. The greatest fighter of all time. I made a video about my top 15 greatest UFC fighters ever. Demetrious Johnson was my number one. I love Demetrious Johnson. I love Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker is one of my favorite fighters. I made a video pre his Reina de Ritter fight about him, how people were disrespecting him, and why I thought he was going to just destroy Reina de Ritter. Robert Whittaker is my top 3 male fighters active right now. I hate sitting here watching these dudes talk about the sport the way they do. Listen to Demetrious Johnson in the aftermath of UFC 319's main event.
If you guys don't want to watch grappling and wrestling and jiu-jitsu, don't watch UFC. Don't. You guys are complaining about something that it's a very simple problem to fix. It's a very simple problem to fix. For example, let's say Hamzat's about to fight again. You don't want to watch his style. All you gotta do is go like this. You see this button right here? It's called off button. You just go like this. You go off. You don't have to see Hamzat wrestle. It's a very simple problem to have. It's a very simple problem to fix, guys. You guys are making it a bigger deal than it is.
I feel like this is such an unintelligent take from Demetrious Johnson. And I think it goes along with the fact that people think that they are hardcore fans because they like grappling. I know that he's a fighter. He's the greatest fighter of all time compared to me, or from my opinion. His opinion is terrible here. Telling people that they should just go watch kickboxing or they should go watch Muay Thai or One Championship like I've been seeing him saying, it's the most asinine thing in the world. When people watch Sean Strickland does zero grappling in any of his fights. The last fighter that he grappled against was Brendan Allen, and that was 3 years ago. People hate watching Sean Strickland fights because they're boring shit strike fest, and he does nothing. He doesn't mix up anything. All he does is jab and teep. No one bats an eye when you call Sean Strickland garbage. No one bats an eye when you call Israel Adesanya the most boring shit fighter of all time, and you dunk on him and his career. No one bats an eye if you call Israel Adesanya boring. No one bats an eye. But the second that you call Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira boring because Ankalaev for rounds 3, 4, and 5 crotch sniffed Alex Pereira, you get called all sorts of dumbass and you stupid fuck and you're a casual, you don't know shit about the sport, and you're not tough, you don't understand what these fighters have to go through. Listen to Robert Whittaker, former middleweight champion, former competitor for each of the fighters that fought in 319's main event. Listen to what he has to say about what we just watched Saturday. Wrong button.
Anyone that says a boring fight is a casual. Okay, no offense. No offense. Like, you're going to take a little offense. I'm sorry. If you're a fan of the sport, okay, and you're not absolutely fascinated by the ability, like by Chimaev's ability to control someone who's as dogged and fights out of things like Dricus,
just to go at that point before he even continues to talk, I don't even want to walk on eggshells here. I am not impressed by that performance. I'm not. I know who Dricus is. I talked about how I thought Dricus was going to win the fight. I know this, I know that. And during my fight companion, I was like, man, if Hamza wins, I'm going to be just as happy as if Dricus wins. It's going to be good for the division because this fight is going to be amazing, and I was fucking wrong. I am not impressed by Hamza Chimaev laying on Dricus du Plessis for 5 rounds. You want to know why? Do you want to know why? Because we know Hamza can do that. We know that Hamza can take Dricus down, get on top position, and we know he can do that. He proved that. But to not take any risks whatsoever, to where if I look up your significant strikes, DDP versus Hamzat, significant strike numbers. Horrible spelling. Where are the significant strike numbers? Let's go to the UFC official site list. He landed over 500 strikes in this fight. 529 strikes. 37 of those strikes were significant. 37. How can I possibly be impressed by this? How? If I go to the UFC official website, let's go. We're gonna do this live. We're gonna go to past Duplessis versus Chimaev. Open up. Boom, we have the numbers here. In round 1, Hamzat Chimaev lands one significant strike while in the most dominant position you can have in the sport. Outside of full mount, which you can argue crucifix is even worse than full mount, in the most dominant position in the sport for 3 or 4 rounds out of 5, one significant strike, 4 significant strikes. 19, this was the round he started doing some striking with the elbows. 4, 9. I can't believe that I have to sit there and enjoy someone getting rabbit punched for 25 minutes for me to not be called a casual. Let's finish.
Done it time and time again. Who's physically never gasses anymore.
Physically never gasses anymore. How can I possibly gas? And I watched Demetrius Johnson basically backtrack his comment that he made here. I watched him basically backtrack his comment by saying, he wasn't really taking risks. Those are more stalling positions that he was in. The Merab position that I like to call it of body lock, fighter with his knees on, with his one knee on the ground, one knee up, and you're just kneeing the thigh. That's the Merab position. That's a stalling position. 2 minutes, that's not impressive because I know you can do that. Because I know there's no other way for the fighter that's in the body lock to get off anything without you moving, without you giving him an opportunity. Otherwise, you can keep him there. That's why those positions get separated, because they aren't. This is a combat sport at the end of the day. At the end of the day, this is a combat sport. It's entertainment. No one is entertained by that outside of these fake hardcore fans. It's absurd. And Hamzat Chimaev's gas tank is not all of a sudden refined because of what happened the other night. He made little to no effort to do anything big, so of course he wouldn't gas out. He held crucifix position, and his heart rate was probably lower than what your resting heart rate is when you're fucking sleeping. That was the extent to what Hamzat was doing Saturday night for 4 rounds. But keep going, Rob.
Yeah, super strong. Has cardiac days, prepared for him, has a great headspace. If you're not fascinated by such a one-sided domination, man, then you have to be a casual. Because you never see this. Never. This level at championship fights, this level.
There are 3-round shutouts that are dominant in the sport, that have happened in championship fights, that have happened against great competition. Case in point, we can go to Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway, the 3rd fight. That is, in my opinion, the greatest, most dominant championship performance that we've ever seen. Volk completely outclassed Holloway in every aspect of the fight for 5 rounds against someone at the caliber of Max Holloway, who everyone considers to be a top 10 to 15 fighter of all time. Some people have him fucking top 6, 7, 8. I don't want to say 6, 7. That's so gay. But I don't have to be fascinated by Hamzat Chimaev. I don't. For me to not be a casual. I put fucking hours into covering the sport. I put hours and years of my life watching the sport. I am not a casual fan because I don't enjoy that. there are wrestling matches, or there are fights that turn into wrestling matches that I absolutely adore, and they can be from fighters that I don't even fucking like. Gamrot Arman Tsarukyan, amazing fight, amazing fight. And Gamrot as a whole is the definition of like a wrestler control type fighter. Gamrot does not have the most entertaining style. I can appreciate the fuck out of Gamrot because of how skilled and how much effort he puts into his sequences and just everything about grappling. Gamrot makes me appreciate grappling. Gamrot Arman Tsarukyan is one of the best grappling fights in the UFC that we've ever fucking seen. We can go back to recent memory. Aljamain Sterling versus Movsar Evloev. Basically no striking. They basically did not strike at all. They had a straight up grappling match. People fucking hate Aljo. I love Aljo. Aljo's in my top 10 favorite fighters. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that. Aljo's my guy. People fucking hated Aljo before that fight. They hated him. And they hate Movsar Evloev. After that fight, people gained a respect for them because it was so entertaining to watch them scramble, watch them fight for certain positions. We love that fight, but we're a casual because we don't enjoy this.
One-sided domination, man. Then you have to be a casual because you never see this, never. This level at championship fights, this level of control. Man, we just saw someone get crucifixed for like 15 minutes. Like, how can you be a fan of the sport and not think, wow, that's crazy?
Bro, the same people that say this about Khamzat Chimaev are the same people that when Tyron Woodley went to fight Wonder Boy and he fucking grappled him and laid on him the second time, these are the same people that wanted to hang Woodley by a fucking stake. Excuse me. You can even see it here. Just listen to Tyron Woodley. This is after the 209 main event, the rematch.
Does it frustrate you or even mattered when Dana was in here earlier, said that he basically wasn't impressed and he's kind of...
Come on, brother.
He said he doesn't know what's going to happen with y'all next.
Well, I mean, I want to see Dana get in there and fight Wonder Boy. Everybody else that walked in there, watched Patrick Cote, watched Robert Whitaker, watched all these guys that thought they were just going to bulldoze him and they disrespected his style. I did the opposite. I embraced his style. I brought in the world champion currently, Avery Plowden, in his weight division. I brought in Sage Northcutt. I brought in Chris Bang. I brought in tons of guys in the actual sport fighting world, Raymond Daniels, and you can't disrespect that style. What happens is you think you got it figured out, and kicks and punches come from weird angles. You find yourself without this, and you find yourself knocked out. So
people hated Tyron Woodley for this specific interview. Dana White himself came out and hated this publicly from what Tyron Woodley did in this fight. People hate Tyron Woodley for this, but they love Khamzat Chimaev. Now, I know that certain region of the world loves their fighters. I am not even mad at them about that. I'm excluding them from this conversation. But the people that get on here, the Robert Whitakers, the Demetrius Johnsons, and you have fat fucks like MMA Joey and all of these weirdos that get on here and talk about, oh, if you don't like this, you're a casual. I bet. Hold on. Let's go on my homepage. This is fucking risky. Let's type. Let's type Khamzat Chimaev. Let's just type in Khamzat, see if something pops up. Easily one of the most intimidating fighters. I don't want to keep going it down Twitter because I'm not editing this video. I want this to just be as raw as possible, but because you know what can happen on Twitter. But man, it's so bad to see that people just. It's so annoying seeing that you have to be labeled a casual. You have to be labeled a shitty fan. You're this, you're that. You don't know anything about the sport. You don't know how to fight, blah, blah, blah. Because I don't like the main event of Khamzat Chimaev, Dricus du Plessis. Because I don't like that Alex Pereira took round 3 off Magomed Ankalaev. And Ankalaev, for the entirety of round 4, pushed Alex Pereira against the cage and just held him there. Barely got separated. And when he did get separated, what happened? He went right back to the clinch. I don't like that. I don't like it. And when people outside of that region of fighters display the same amount they show the same thing on display, when people outside of that region do that, they get hate like a motherfucker. But people in this region, they get praise, they get love. Let me show you guys. I'm gonna just go on YouTube. Let's go to YouTube. Khamzat versus DDP highlights. Wow, I can't spell right now. Can I show this? Is there a fucking UFC? I can show this. No, I can't. I don't know if I can.
If you've ever signed up for anything online, your personal data.
What are we doing? These are the highlights of the fight. That's the highlight of the fight in this video. They don't have any other highlights. I don't know if I'm even allowed to show any other highlights. That's the extent of the highlights that we get. But people like Tyron Woodley get absolutely obliterated, get threatened to get stripped. It's just I'm tired of you all thinking that y'all are just upper echelon of MMA fans, that y'all are so much better than us who are realistic, who are grounded in our opinions, who know what the fuck we're talking about. You are not a casual if you're watching this. You are not a casual because you don't enjoy non-dominant wrestling not non-dominant, because you don't enjoy non-entertaining wrestling performances. And it can be the most dominant shit in the world. Watching Khamzat Chimaev put him in a crucifix 5 different times. It's not, who gives a fuck if he doesn't finish him? If I don't see you split DDP open with elbows, if I don't see you punching him and it's like John Jones, Alexander Gustafsson 2, ground and pound, just, who cares? Who cares if it's not DC Volkan Ozdemir type ground and pound? Like, I don't care to see rabbit punches from Khamzat Chimaev. The guy who goes around saying, I'm going to kill everybody, I'm smashing everybody, I'm going to be a 3-division champion. Why would I want to see that? Why would you want to see that? Why would you want to wait for another main event for Khamzat Chimaev to shoot a takedown in the first 13 and a half seconds of the fight, get a dominant position, not progress the position, not move not move and do any real damage? Like, Dricus can go fight in a month. He can go take a short notice fight in a month and be good because he took no damage. He probably got his what ear was it? His right cauliflower ear might have exploded a little bit. Might have, from all the little rabbit punches. But otherwise, he took no damage. That's not entertaining. But if I look up Izzy versus Romero, I'm going to see memes of Romero dancing in the same spot and people calling this the worst fights of all time. All the worst fights of all time compared to people or to some people are striking matches. They won't tell you that a grappling match is boring. They won't. From a fighter like Khamzat or from a fighter like Ankalaev. It's just, I'm tired of it, man. Y'all are not better than us because you think that fight was entertaining. And I'm not even just talking about this fight, but I want to make this the main focus because that's been there's nothing else to talk about from the fight. There's no who's next for Khamzat. Who cares who's next for Khamzat at this point? If it's not Fluffy Hernandez, who can... I mean, Nasruddin or Mavov might have a chance at middleweight, but like Nasruddin, Fluffy, and maybe RDR have a chance of like... RDR maybe could pull some goofy shit off bottom position. He's a grappler himself. But it's just like, bro, you are like telling me to turn off my TV if I don't want to.
If you guys don't want to watch grappling and wrestling and jiu-jitsu, don't watch UFC.
Bro, then go watch the Olympics. Go watch the Olympics. Go watch UFC BJJ. Go watch ADCC. Go watch some shit like that. Go to your local MMA gym. sign up for a jiu-jitsu tournament and go watch that. Go watch a high school grappling match. Go watch a high school wrestling match. Go watch a NCAA wrestling match. Go watch DC and his wrestling kids wrestle. Go to Dagestan and watch them in the mountains wrestle. I don't want to see that ever again. Now I have faith in Khamzat that he can maybe. I'm just because I'm a big MMA fan. I love the sport. I'm not passionate about anything else in life, like as a hobby that's not MMA. I'm not as passionate about anything else. I made a fucking channel on it. I'm just tired of it, and I've ran it in the camera for 15 minutes because I'm tired of y'all telling me that I'm a casual because I don't enjoy motherfuckers getting laid on. I don't. My
Fight
favorite-
is a casual,
one of my
okay?
favorite
No-
fighters is telling me that I'm a casual because I didn't enjoy this.
No offense. No offense. Like, you got to take a little offense. I'm sorry. If you're a fan of the sport, okay, and you're not absolutely fascinated by the ability, like by Chimaev's ability to control someone who's as dogged and
We're
fight.
talking about control. Control, not damage, which is the number one criteria of scoring. We're not talking about damage. We're talking about control in a championship fight, the most hyped up championship fight of the year. If you go through the list of each championship fights, there hasn't been a more hyped main event this year. There hasn't, especially from a number pay-per-view. Sean Strickland, DDP2, absolutely not. Arman Islam was hyped, but then it became Islam Muikano. Who the fuck cares about that? Sean DDP2, no. March, Alex Pereira, Magomed Ankalaev was up there, but what happened? Another wrestle fuck stall against the cage decision. April, okay, we had Volk. None of these fights are on the same level as what DDP Khamzat was in terms of hype. I got old fucks that I know, 50, 60 years old, tuning in to watch. Motherfuckers with mortgages and kids and grandkids, motherfuckers tuning in to watch this fight because I told them to watch it. It was going to be the number one fight of the year. And I'm not even the biggest fan of either of those fighters, and it was that. I feel ashamed that I'm even having to make this video because I'm ashamed of the fan base that tells me that I'm a casual. I'm ashamed of my favorite fighter telling me that I'm a casual because I don't like what I saw Saturday. If this shit never changes, I'm gonna keep saying the same thing, and y'all, I was gonna say some bullshit. And the people who say who can confidently say striking matches are boring, because first of all, another point is most of the prelim fights that we see are dog shit 29-28 decisions when they're just striking on the feet. And you'll call that boring any day of the week. Striking has way more intricacies than grappling does. Way more, especially at a division like middleweight. Way more. But just please don't call the fan base that didn't enjoy the main event this past Saturday a casual, because it just proves that you're a tryhard. If you're not a fighter and you're just a fan with no real stake in the game, you're a bitch. If you agree with that, you're just a bitch. And that's all I have to say. If you stayed this far in the video, thank you for watching the video, and have a good night, man.